Hey geeks, today's black superhero is War Machine. Most of you probably know War Machine, aka James Rhodes, from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where he was portrayed by two actors, first Terrence Howard, and then later replaced by Don Cheadle. Which, by the way, if you want to learn more about that, I highly suggest going down that little rabbit hole. Anyway, here's some information about War Machine from the comic books. James Rhodey Rhodes first appears in a single panel of Iron Man number 118 in 1979. Rhodes is first portrayed using the Iron Man armor in Iron Man number 169 in 1983, when he has to fight a villain in the stead of a drunk and defeated Tony Stark. Rhodes goes on to replace Stark as Iron Man in subsequent issues. This is something that Denny O'Neil did previously for DC Comics when he had John Stewart take over the Green Lantern mantle from Hal Jordan. Rhodes eventually becomes War Machine in Avengers West Coast issue number 94. And later he becomes Iron Patriot in Gambit number 13. Not my favorite version of the armor. As War Machine, Rhodes dons the Variable Threat Battlesuit, which is equipped with heavy weapons for more direct combat than the standard Iron Man suits. The War Machine armor first debuted with a black and gray color scheme that was going to be changed to a blue and gold color scheme, but they left it black and gray because it was pretty popular. Subsequent armors include crazy stuff, like an extraterrestrial symbiotic armor. After Rhodes is severely injured, Stark implants the armor into Rhodes' actual body. And eventually, Rhodes even gets like a cloned body. It's nuts. But in my research about War Machine, what I found to be the most interesting was how this character was portrayed and the commentary that it provides on race relations. Unlike other black Marvel heroes such as Falcon and Cloak, Rhodes' race is not explicitly invoked as a defining aspect of his character or a common source of conflict. And while it's cool that he takes on the mantle of Iron Man when Tony Stark is incapable of doing so, even this storyline is fraught with some conservative subtext. First, in Rhodes' origin story, he is portrayed as a young black man who escapes the ghetto through enlisting in the military, This reflected conservative sentiments in the late 1970s that African Americans should seek betterment through individual agency, and that the military was a place where success was based on merit rather than race. Even when he takes on the Iron Man armor, Rhodes has difficulties with it, and at some point it even causes him physical pain to operate the armor, like headaches. This reflects the conservative belief that racial minorities are harmed by sudden increases in power. Now, his second run at Iron Man, which happens in the 1990s, is different because he's also the CEO of Stark Industries. This depiction places him on equal grounds with Stark, as he is a very successful CEO and very successful as Iron Man. This time, as Iron Man, Rhodes faces some of the same obstacles that Stark does, but we get the perspective of an African American instead. In the first outing as Iron Man, Rhodes is pretending to be Stark in the Iron Man armor, and so in the second run, he gets to just be himself. Still, Rhodes' character is tied to that of Iron Man, and Rhodes and Stark's relationship has a racial component. Stark, as the man in control of Rhodes' destiny, is white. I mean, he controls his armor, and at one point, he even implements that armor into Rhodes' actual body. So the character of War Machine raises some fascinating issues about race. So I hope you learned more about War Machine. I know that I did. If you want to know more about black superheroes, hit the follow button. But more importantly, follow all of these black content creators. These blurs are making awesome content. Some of them are even writing their own comics creating their own black superheroes.